Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need, get over the fear, and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello everybody, Michael Quarles with Podcast 107. Today's podcast is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to do the 5 daily questions, but I wanted to talk to you folks about real estate and why we jumped in. Now, I know for most of us, we were jumping in because of the money or lack of money. We wanted a better life, better lifestyle. Maybe we hated our job. Some of us jumped in probably because we didn't hate our job and it was doing okay, but it just wasn't doing enough for us to go on vacation regularly or save for college funds and those kinds of things. So we thought we'd make some spare money. Some of us wanted to get out of debt. We had more debt than we had anything else, and we needed to get that paid off, and found that buying houses was the solution for that. But whatever it was, there was an underlying motivation that caused us to take the first step, to jump in. And I've always been one of those guys that wasn't afraid to jump. And a lot of people will come to me and they'll tell me, Mike, I'm too afraid to jump because, I might fail. So they're afraid of the failure. And I gotta say, I'm afraid of the failure too. But I use the same word. I'm afraid of failure. But when I say it, what I mean by saying it is I'm afraid of failing by not doing. So I'm going to jump in and make sure I do it right, that I'm successful at whatever I decide to do, and follow the guidelines and the systemization that I know are required in any business to have success. So I'm not afraid of failing that way. I'm afraid of not succeeding. I don't know if that makes any sense. But if you're having a problem or a hard time with going, man, it just might not work. Maybe I'm going to invest some money in marketing or a coach or whatever it is, business cards, phone numbers, that sort of thing. Maybe it just won't work. And why me? That's another question someone has is, why do I think, they're talking about themselves. Why do I think that I'm worthy? Well, you are worthy. My goodness, we're all worthy of great things in life. And if you believe in abundance and prosperity like I do, there's enough room for all of us to be highly successful in this business. And so jump in with, I'm not saying burn the boat and not have anything to bounce back to or rely on while you're creating your success. But at some point you're going to burn your boat. When you make $500,000 buying and selling houses and you make $50,000 as a school teacher, as an example, probably not going to be a school teacher very often. But it's fun being a school teacher, so you may sub one day every once in a while. You may visit the the kids that you used to have. You may volunteer, but you're going to be a real estate investor because the $500,000 that you earn can go to things like donating to the school, doing things for those kids that you used to teach, doing the principles that got you into being and wanting to be a teacher with the money that you're going to make in excess of what is required to live at the lifestyle you choose to live at. And I know that in order to do that, you have to set some fundamental goals. We get up every day, and if you have a job, your goal is to get up and go to work, do the tasks that they ask you to do, and then come home. And at the end of the pay period, you get a check. Well, that's your goal. That's your daily goal in life, is to go do something to earn that check. Well, I'm going to say that if you just set a better goal in that, I want to do something to get a bigger check, and do those things, then that bigger check's going to come. I know on average we make $28,000 a deal. It used to be 27. Right now we're averaging 28. There's going to be many of the deals that we do that we're going to make, $80, $90, $100,000 on. And how many $100,000 deals do you have to make to replace your income? 1? Half of 1? 2? 3? Well, imagine if you could do that monthly. Now, I know it sounds like a story, but I can tell you that I have some coaching students that are doing some good things. And I feel real blessed that I'm able to help them do those good things. Now, this isn't a coaching sales call because I've closed my coaching program. But I want you to know if you're on the fence about it, just get in, just jump in, set some goals, make them realistic. Here's a realistic goal. Buy a house a month. Spend $1,000 somehow. Eat less, eat cheaper food. Don't go to the movies. Don't go to the concert, but gather $1,000. Send out 1,400 pieces of mail, and over a 6-month period, you're going to start seeing some results of that, and you're going to start buying some houses. And when you send out that mail, we know what to send out. We know it's the small postcard. We know it's the yellow letter. We know it's a large postcard. We know it's the professional letter. We know it's a greeting card. And we know it's a zip letter. Pretty much in that order. We know what they say, and we know who to send them to. But if you have $1,000 a month for 6 months, that's going to cost you $6,000, and the return on that is going to be so favorable in your favor that, oh my goodness, it's going to set you free. So just know that when you set that goal, one of those goals has to be, I'm going to set my goal to market so that I can buy houses so I can make $28,000 house. And I know in my business, my personal business, where we're doing everything over the phone, it takes us close to 4,000 pieces of mail to find an opportunity. But I'm not knocking on doors. And when you knock on doors, I know that opportunity is greater than if you're doing everything over the phone where you're not creating a relationship. So if I can get it done in a little less than 4,000 pieces, you should be able to get it done with less than 4,000 pieces. And I'm saying about 1,400 pieces a month should get it done for you. But learn the script. Or learn a script, even if it's not my script. It's a script, but follow the way you should ask questions. I'm a firm believer that the first question you have to ask everybody that you call back is, do you have a house you're hoping to sell? And that word hoping is really important. It's not wanting, it's hoping, and it's hoping on purpose, because we're trying to ask and find the motivated seller. Are you hoping to sell a house, which is a lot different than, do you have a house you're wanting to sell? And the second question has to be, is it listed with a real estate professional? Now you can change that. You can say, is it listed with a broker, which is a more professional name for a real estate professional. And the third question has to be, what do you think it's worth? And they have to know. And then finally, what do they want to sell it for? And sure, you're gonna have a lot of people that say, take me off your list. Don't ever call me again. Call you all kinds of names.
Thanks for listening to Buy, Sell, Fix, Flip. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started, and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
You're going to have people that are in fantasy land. They're worse than fantasy land. But there can also have people like Horshack from Welcome Back Carter that raises her hand so high in the air and shouts out so loud, buy my house. I need you to sell I need to sell my house. I need you to buy my house. That they're going to beg you to buy their house at 60 cents on the dollar. And it's true. And until you realize it, man, I know it doesn't sound possible. I know it's unreasonable to think that someone with an equity base in their property of 40% will give you that equity just to get you to buy their house. I know that's unreasonable if you haven't done it. And I respect that unreasonableness or thought of unreasonableness. But it's true. It will happen. Just jump and do this stuff. Make some extra money. Save for your kids' education. Save for your retirement. Buy your husband something. Buy your wife something. Elevate your lifestyle. If you did 28 deals, $28,000 profit per deal, you did 12 deals a year. What is that? That's a friggin' bucket load of money. What, $336,000? My goodness, what would you do with $336,000 extra just because you decided to do something on purpose? You weren't afraid of failure. You were in fact afraid of not succeeding. You took that mind frame, Mike, I'm afraid of not succeeding. I'm therefore going to get out of bed every day and do something positive to the 1,400 prospects that I'm going to prospect to and cause something good to happen. And remember, I know you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to do everything. That's okay. I didn't know how to do it. No one taught me, except the school of hard knocks. So you don't need to have, at the end of the day, these podcasts that I do on a daily basis, they're great. There's a lot of things you can learn from them. You can go up to the Academy site and listen to the daily deals where you hear sellers talking to our crew and hear the interaction. My goodness, there's nothing more powerful than to hear it live, to know it's real, so you can change your life and start making some serious money, because this is about you. It's not about anybody else but you. You're in that seat. Go do something really cool. It's not hard. You're going to call these people back. You're going to talk on purpose. You're going to call back 4 times. You're going to talk to someone who called you. You're going to call them 4 times. By the time you call them 4 times and have a relationship building process with them, you're going to buy some houses. You're going to send them another letter next month anyway. You're going to send them 6 pieces of letter. You're going to talk to them 4 times. Man, it's possible, guys and gals. Just know it is for you. But then ask yourself, or answer this question for yourself. What is life going to be like when you make $300,000 more? What's it going to be like when you pay your bills off? What's it going to be like when you've fulfilled the commitment you've promised yourself and your spouse and your family and earned the money that you need to have the lifestyle that you choose? What's it going to be like when you can donate to someone that you don't know for a breast cancer walk? What's it going to be like when you can donate cars to people that you don't know who need a car more than you need that money? And because you're a real estate investor who does set goals, has jumped in, isn't afraid to make money, understands scripts, understands how to buy a house for profit, you get to do that. What a great thing to give back to life, to pay it back. So if every one of you listening jumps in, this is a crazy thought, but if every one of you listens, jumps in and says, today I'm going to start. Today I'm going to raise my hand and become a real estate investor. Today is the day that I've decided to be the best person I can be for myself and my family. And you started making the money that you deserve making. And then next year you made more, because next year you're going to know how to do it better, so your income is going to double. And maybe that's going to be enough income for the rest of your life, which is great. My goodness, if you made $700,000 or close to $700,000 a year in, year out, your only tax burden you have is paying taxes. Who cares at that rate? But man, what is it going to feel like to pay off that last bill? Not to be worried about bounced check or the Visa payment, or you can't buy the Bentley because you just can't buy the Bentley. I can tell you firsthand, and this is not arrogance, I'm telling you this. This is true. This is a real thing. When you drive a Bentley, it's better than some of the other cars out there. It just handles really nice. It goes 100 miles. Well, it goes 200 miles an hour down the road if you want to. If you're that brave, I'm not that brave yet. But there's certain things in life that are just better because you do them and you have them. But you guys got to do them. Do it. I'm saying, when you're done listening to this thing, I want you to be so pumped up that you can do it. 12 deals a year, $28,000. Is that $336,000 first year income? All you have to do is decide to do it. Jump in, set your goals. Don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid of not succeeding. Change your thought process. Buy some houses. Say things on purpose. Meet those sellers. Get contracts signed. Sell houses. Do it again. Rinse and repeat. That's all you got to do. It's all you have to do is want to do it. How bad do you guys want to do it? How bad? Because until the pain of not changing is larger than the pain of change, you won't change. So until being where you're at hurts so much, you won't improve. how much do you want it to hurt? How much longer do you want life to suck because you're unwilling to take the steps and to do the things and to set the goals and to jump in and answer the phone and send out the mail and follow up? You follow up at 15, 30, 60, 90. It's no big deal. You keep going. This is not a get rich quick thing. This is a get rich, stay rich thing. Again, it's a get rich, stay rich thing. So, set your sights on success, okay, gals? Do it. That's all I have to say. Real estate investing has been, I had a choice of entering the Air Force and becoming whatever they wanted me. They said I was going to either be an intelligence officer or computer engineer, and I thought that was crazy. Because I'm a couple bucket loads old. So I didn't even know what a computer was. But I chose real estate on my first deal. I fell in love with dirt. It was something that just kicked my butt. It was like, man, you can actually buy dirt and resell it and make money on it. And you don't have to punch a clock. You don't have to listen to someone's, BS. That you are absolutely in charge of your destiny. There's not very many things that we can be in charge of, but we can absolutely be in charge of what we do in life and how we do it and who we do it with. Real estate's great. And we are in a friggin' fantastic real estate market. I haven't seen a market this great in a long time. If you have any fear, here should be the fear of not getting into this market and not taking advantage of this great opportunity that's sitting right in front of you in all markets. And don't tell me your market's any different than anybody else's market or it's harder in your market. It is not. You may have to do things that are different because of your marketplace, but all you have to do is do them. You can't wait. You can't. If you wait, someone else is going to make your money. That's how you should look at it. And if it's okay for somebody else to make the money, take the money from you, and if that's the gift you want to give somebody else, just wait. That'd be a great gift to give someone else that decided to not have the fear base and decided they were just going to jump in. Man, jump all in. Till next time, guys. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.